Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Everyone checking in on the cryptocurrency space, and going to start it off a little bit different here by answering some questions from members, and then we'll get into our general technical analysis as usual. So certainly Bitcoin has broken from the tightening daily equilibrium that we were watching. We've now seen 7 days in a row with a lower high every single day, and this shifts the odds. This is no longer a daily equilibrium. We are more likely to see a bear break than a bull break at this point. It's not game over for the bulls. They're obviously still holding their support levels. But if we were to zoom out and look at different time frames, let's look at the 3-day chart. It is a descending triangle, which generally is a bearish pattern. Doesn't mean it cannot break bullish, but it is a generally bearish pattern. So it's just something to be aware of. So let's go through some questions really quick. What are the percentage odds of staying between 9,300 and 10,900? So this range right here for 2 more weeks. And I would say we have a 40% chance of staying in that range for 2 more weeks. And again, obviously I'm making that number up to a certain degree. It's an educated guess, but my guess is based on some RSI levels. The 4-hour RSI is currently bouncing, so cooling that off. The 12-hour RSI would get oversold if we drop down to 9,300 in the short term. So just looking for a bounce on the daily, and anything on the daily under 10,460 would be just a lower high. But 2 weeks is a pretty long time, 14 days. Anyways, the point is I would expect at least a short-term bounce before breaking 9,300, even if that's just to give us a daily lower high, and that just extends time that we could stay within this range. Breakdown or breakout targets. If we see a bear break of 9,300 and then our low of 9,071, which I'm just rounding down and calling that 9,000. So if we see a bear break of 9,000, zooming out on the monthly time frame, that will be our monthly consolidation underway for the first time. We've seen the monthly consolidation on Ethereum and Litecoin and the major altcoins. We haven't seen it on Bitcoin yet since our bottom. We've gone low to high and now just straight up inside bars, sideways trading. So I would be looking for a target of the monthly exponential supports roughly, and I would be looking in the upper $7,000 range as a potential target. If we were to look at the weekly time frame, we could pull back with lower highs, and then if we drop down to lower lows, support here, 7,427. So I would be looking for the upper 7,000s. If we get a bull break on the weekly time frame, which at this point would be over 10,900, we're looking back up to 13,800. I would be surprised if the bulls could go straight over and see another 20% plus move to get to those levels, and almost a 30% move. So I wouldn't expect to break our high of 2019 just because we break our daily level. I wouldn't expect it to all happen in a short period of time, but those would be the resistance levels that we look up to. 12,320, 13,868. Would I make an entry on the break of the daily equilibrium? So that's a good question, and the answer is it depends. And it depends on what is the setup as the break is setting up to occur. So I put in a stop buy for Bitcoin right here after this candlestick, and I saw, okay, this may be our daily high or low. I put a stop buy order in for 10,460 if that break did occur, because it would have been a nice tight pattern. If we formed a higher low and broke that resistance, I would have then been looking for a test of 10,900. As soon as we break bearish here, I pull that order because it's not the same setup. So would I be playing a bear break? Not if we drop straight down to 9,300 and 9,000 from here. I would need to see another daily lower high, cool off RSI levels, and see another bear move from there. And as far as a bull break from here, like I said, I pulled my stop buy order because the setup is different, and I'd have to see a more comfortable setup where we see a daily trend change that would have me interested. So I don't see that setup right now for a stop buy on Bitcoin. And again, I wouldn't have a stop sell for a bear entry on Bitcoin if we were to drop down and test these levels sometime in the next couple of days. I closed my no-touch positions on the 6K break back in 2018. Will I do it again on the break of 9,000? Why or why not? And the answer is no. And the reason, why did I do it back then? Because that was the low of consolidation at that point from the all-time high. It was an extremely clear pattern, and we knew if 6,000 broke, we were probably going to see a good amount of follow-through. So we exited long-term positions on the 6,000 break, and we rebought them in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. So why would I not do that again? If it's a very clear pattern that everybody's watching, what's different this time? The difference is the monthly time frame. At that drop, we had no support level. We had no low of consolidation established. At this point, we do. 3,100. So we're going to be looking for a monthly higher low to form compared to 3,100. So, I could potentially exit at 9,000 and then re-enter at 8,000, and that would be worthwhile. But I'm not going to be sitting at the computer actively trading that long-term position. So I'm just going to keep it simple and anticipate that even if we get a bear break, we are looking for a monthly higher low, which is the reason I will not be selling the long-term position on a break of 9,000. What's the correlation between Bitcoin and alts and Bitcoin and other markets? Bitcoin and other markets haven't noticed any significant correlation. It comes and goes for a few days. We've seen it correlated with SPY very briefly. That has not lasted enough for me to be paying attention to. I keep an eye out for it, but it's not notable. So for me, I don't see any macro correlations with any other significant financial instruments. And as far as altcoins go, it is whenever we trade sideways on Bitcoin, correlations with the altcoins weaken in the sense that it's almost like if Bitcoin's trading sideways, altcoins get a longer leash. They get to do their own thing without being inhibited by all the volatile movement on BTC. It's almost like the bots that are trading altcoins in correlation to Bitcoin pick up significantly with Bitcoin volatility. So if Bitcoin volatility is dropping off, which again, we've seen the least amount of Bitcoin volatility in the last month of trading that we've seen in the last 6 months of trading, maybe a little bit less than that, 4 months of trading. So the last month of trading, the altcoins have seen their most volatility relative to Bitcoin because Bitcoin has had the least amount of volatility in the last 4 months. So sideways trading allows altcoins to do their own thing. Does ETH BTC possible daily higher low at 202.59 change anything with being so extended? So 202.27. So he's saying, is this our daily higher low? And the answer is it's a support level, but it's not my daily higher low because we could very easily keep pulling back further and still be looking for a daily higher low compared to the last one of 1730. If we get a bull break and head up to 22 and we see a significant amount of space above that support level of 2027, then I would call that our daily higher low. But with where we stand right now, I am not going to call that our daily higher low because I am not convinced that we have pivoted enough off of that point to see continuation. So back to our regular analysis, we have the tightening range on the weekly time frame. Technically, anything above 9,320 is a weekly higher low. So even though we have broken the daily tightening range, that doesn't mean that we are heading down for a bear break of the longer term weekly range. As we said, the bulls can get a little bit of bounce and follow through and remain in this tightening range for a bit longer. And when we break this weekly range, you better believe that there will be a clear volume spike associated with that break on this weekly time frame. So we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, the oversold bounce underway. Anything under pretty much 10,224 is just a lower high. We have the 4-hour exponential resistance levels that are on watch, and we have to change the 4-hour trend to be looking at the potential of breaking the pattern of a lower high every day for the last 7 days. So bulls hoping for a daily inside bar tomorrow after such a wide range today, but pretty much need to break that pattern of a lower high every single day, just like we did back here, to get a little bit of bull relief on the daily time frame. Ethereum is still holding up really well. Daily higher low is trying to form at 298 cents. Have we changed the 4-hour trend back in favor of the bulls? No, we have not. So we're not confident that's our daily higher low yet. Anything under 217 is just a 4-hour lower high. So we need a lower high, higher low, and a higher high to get follow through. That would be a potential daily bull flag if the bulls could change the 4-hour trend from here. Otherwise, if we drop down and break 200, our recent low, then that means zoom out and still certainly would be looking for the daily higher low to form. It would just no longer be the potential bull flag possibility. But right now, ETH bulls are definitely pleased with how well it is holding up relative to the Bitcoin dump. And the reason is this ETH BTC chart is still extremely strong. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame here, we never lost the uptrend. We pulled back. The 4-hour higher low was set at 2027, and we're heading back up now to test the recent high of 2130. So bulls still very strong on this pairing, although we do have a little bit of a double top to keep an eye on. As long as 2027 holds, the bulls are keeping their strength. And this chart holding strong is helping this USD pairing chart hold strong, regardless of Bitcoin dump. Litecoin pulling back a lot more significantly. Daily consolidation underway here as well. Backtesting the daily exponential supports. So anything above 69.45 is a daily high or low. We don't have the bull cross of the exponential moving averages yet, and the bulls need to change the 4-hour trend back in their favor. It's a potential 4-hour bear flag right now, so we have to change the 4-hour trend back in favor of the bulls. I was stopped out of I have multiple positions. I have my no-touch position. I have my position that I have a stop under 62 for a longer term hold, hoping our monthly high or low has been set. And I had a shorter term position, which I was using the 4-hour uptrend. So I stopped out of that shorter term position when 74.61 broke last night. And we have to change the 4-hour trend for our daily high or low to be established and for the bulls to keep control. Why is Litecoin being hit harder on this consolidation relative to Bitcoin? Or I should say relative to Ethereum because of the Bitcoin dump? And the answer is in your LTC BTC chart. The pullback is more significant. It's still a 4-hour uptrend, but it looks a lot different than the ETH BTC chart we just looked at, which is currently up testing its highs. So we have the 4-hour high or low at 7421, which the bulls need to maintain. And if we were to lose that level, the 4-hour uptrend is lost, and then daily consolidation would be underway, and we'd look for a daily high or low to form. So Bitcoin needs to stay in its weekly tightening range for LTC and ETH to remain strong and hope for potential continuation after daily high or lows have been set. XRP has seen a massive pullback from its high, also a massive breakout, no doubt about it. That daily tightening range breaking bullish saw huge follow through, and we pulled back and gave a ton of it back. So looking at the 4-hour chart, we have, you could say we lost the 4-hour uptrend when we broke support of 3.0. Well, actually, technically speaking, I would say our 4-hour higher low was back here at 285, which we did break that level with a significant pullback. So there wasn't a clear stop level on the 4-hour time frame to use, but the daily chart pulling back, we're going to look for a daily higher low to form compared to 25.72, and we need the 4-hour trend to change back in favor of the bulls to be confident that daily higher low has been established. BNB also saw a nice bull break following through from that move over 21.25. We got all the way up to 23.17, but very quickly gave it all back and back down to test this low. Still battling to hold this base of $20, and I'm watching this monthly exponential support, which is being back tested and held, and the declining volume, although that's actually going to be close to last month's volume. But the bottom line is we're looking for a monthly higher low to form. The bulls are attempting to build a base of support, but they haven't seen a convincing move, and now 23s are the most important resistance because 23.52 and 23.17 are our two tops, and resistance after that is all the way up in the upper 26s. So there's a nice amount of space after that, but that's a clear hurdle that we rejected from and that the bulls will have to get over if they're going to prove to us a significant shift in momentum is underway. EOS USD, also a solid pullback. Daily support is down at 368. If we break that level, the uptrend is lost. The bulls also have to be cautious of the potential of a head and shoulders pattern where we would have our left shoulder, head, and even if we bounce, if we fail to break 424 and then roll over and lose the daily uptrend, that means zoom out because weekly consolidation is underway. Keeping in mind that a lot of these charts are rejecting from weekly exponential resistance and perhaps weekly consolidation is underway. We have to lose the daily uptrend for that to be confident, for us to be confident that weekly consolidation is underway. But here's Litecoin pulling back from just under its exponential resistances, and Ethereum is still holding on just fine. So again, Ethereum standing out with its strength. Also want to look at XLM. So XLM had a huge move yesterday with a short squeeze on Coinbase. And this was, honestly, it reminded me of 2017 more than anything I've seen recently. And if you looked at it on the 2-minute time frame, it was just an explosion, and it was very clear that a short squeeze was going on. So we reach a point where we know not to be buying because we know when the top is hit, we will be looking at a pullback of easily 20% very quickly. And there was arbitrage because it was only happening on one exchange. We know it's going to be short-lived because bots are going to be buying on other exchanges. I think we went 50% higher than on other exchanges. So bots are going to buy on other exchanges and sell on Coinbase as long as that arbitrage remains. But we made a huge move of 60+% in 12 minutes, and then we dropped 35% in 8 minutes. So you know that a lot of people lost a lot of money trying to chase there and just straight into the dump. But congrats to those that were able to capitalize on that short squeeze, and certainly something up there. And any bull looking at this sector wants to see that happen because, again, that is very reminiscent of how the price action in 2017 was going when things were nutty. So that's where we stand overall. Bitcoin bulls need to show up over the next couple of days, because if we fade back down to 9,300, we will be on the hook for a potential bear break of the longer term weekly pattern. And that could follow through in the next few days. It's up to the bulls on Bitcoin to prove to us that they can defend that support. And if we went straight into a 4-hour trend change into tomorrow, that would build a lot of confidence to say, okay, we can stay in this weekly tightening range a bit longer. And without that, if we fade back down to the recent low, then the potential longer term bear break is still on the table. So I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to do good things out there, and we will see you all in the near term future. Low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low, 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 low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low. I'm ready to trade. Just need some higher lows and lower highs. Keep getting rejected by these middle Bollinger Bands. Come on, you fat bulls, you piece of mother goat loving fat. Here we go. All-time high test. Get it, bulls. Get it, bulls. Bulls, guys.